Hey everybody, Shane here, Astrology time. Today is Saturday, the 27th of December. So ready for some astrology? Let's go. Look, our moon is in Pisces and it's going to be void of course at 2:03 in the morning. Already done there, right? Been there, done that. And enters Aries at 3:02 also in the morning. Today's the day we finally get to exhale just a bit, okay? Just, let's relax. Look, Chiron is trine Mercury, or Mercury is trine Chiron. You always go with the closest body. And I like this energy for resetting our minds along with our bodies. Speaking of bodies, right? Now, our present state of mind is somewhat challenged because we have, there's energy in Aries with the moon in Aries that wants to go, right? It's kind of a going energy. However, Sun, Venus, nearing conjunct, in Capricorn. So this is where it's going to be very, very interesting. So the reality is the Sun and Venus, they're showing us we've already done enough. Okay, we've done what we can. There's wisdom to be found in this today. You've done some stuff, right? Yeah, we're through the holidays. We've got through it. We can exhale. We can relax. We got this done. Mars, the ruler of Aries, is exalted in Capricorn. So Mars is in Capricorn. So creative things and spiritually important things, they're going to get done in due time because right when the moon went void of course, the aspect was with Neptune, right? So don't rush. Be consistent. And today's keyword is wisdom. The color is sunrise. So you pick whatever stage of sunrise you want. I'm thinking mostly the reddish ones, right? Now, as Venus closes in on the sun, this is where we go into a diatribe, right? The superior conjunction will occur. Yep, that's going to happen on the 6th of January. And now, I think it's called, I may have accidentally called it inferior a couple days ago, and I want to straighten that out. All the planets experience superior conjunctions. That is when the planets line up with the sun, and the sun is always between the Earth and the planet. So the planet's outside the orbit of the sun, right? That's where they come into play. Now, only Mercury and Venus experience inferior conjunctions, and that's where the planet is between Earth and the sun, right? So that can only happen with the two inner planets and the moon. The moon is never on the other side of the sun, so the moon never experiences a superior conjunction, always an inferior conjunction. And Venus and Mercury are capable of experiencing both kinds of conjunctions, and it's a very important part of that petal of Venus stage that's coming. That we've talked about. That you can go back through my archive and look up, because that's an interesting thing too, because of the way that the ratio between the orbits of Earth and Venus, the way it works out. It's a very consistent 8-year pattern that repeats repeatedly, right? It's been repeating for a long time. It's going to shift very soon, though, so it's going to be interesting. But the last conjunction we had was, the last inferior conjunction we had was in Aries. We have an inferior conjunction coming up, and it's going to happen in August of this year. Now, think about this, though. We talked about the moon. Venus is visible. Okay, now let's talk about this. Venus is conjunct with the sun on the 6th, okay? And Venus will not be visible, okay, because she's conjunct with the sun, and Mars, consequently, is not either. Venus is not going to be visible until February 16th. So it's going to take some time before we see Venus once again, but we're going to feel her effects, let me tell you. The important thing to take away from this is that Venus and Mars are both not visible in the night sky, okay? They're working behind the scenes to help us prepare for what's coming our way next year, 2026. Faster than you know it, right? We already know that Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune will finally be moving into Aries, Gemini, and Aries, respectively. That's right. Saturn and Neptune into Aries, Uranus into Gemini permanently, just like Pluto is in Aquarius now, will not retrograde back out. And that's what that means permanently. They will not retrograde back out until it completes a cycle. So, cycles within cycles, one of my favorite themes, right? Now, today's astrology is to impart a measure of wisdom regarding those larger cycles, those bigger cycles. Things are not meant to happen all at once, right? There's a cosmic rhythm that is pulsing and beating behind these things. And look, if you don't realize that right off the bat today, don't worry about it. The moon squares Mars later on, and then you'll know about it by then. There's only so much we can do. Compare this to what you should do, and you'll see that there's a bit of a gap there, right? Between what we can do and what we should do. All right? Somebody once said, yeah, thou shalt not should, right? It's just, no, you do what you can do, okay? Wisdom is there to help you separate between the should and the can. And wisdom will also help you choose the most effective option. All right, so that's what I got for you. So on this date in 537, that's a long time ago, right? In Istanbul, of all places, or Constantinople when it was called back then, the Hagia Sophia was inaugurated by the Emperor Justinian I as an Eastern Orthodox cathedral. And our birth has a bit of a story behind it, and it's a serendipitous one, too. This is how these things work, right? Intuitive astrology works this way. We go with it. Somebody on my YouTube channel was being a snarky person, and they wrote a comment, and they said, how did Oumuamua and 3I Atlas, the comet 3I Atlas, and the close pass-by asteroid, that Oumuamua, affect this serious science? Okay, now, usually when people troll me like that, I delete their comments. I'm just like, yeah, okay, serious science. All right, so you're wondering why an out of the solar system body comes through. Well, here's what I wrote, okay, and then I will get into it a little bit, and then you'll see what our birth is. So first of all, this is never presented as a serious science. It's metaphysical. The two bodies you reference are from outside the solar system. Astronomical phenomena, while intriguing, have very little to do with the daily practice of astrology. Johannes Kepler was both an astronomer and an astrologer. Are Kepler's laws of planetary motion any less serious? He was successfully able to separate the metaphysical from the physical. Okay. So, a lot in there, right? Sure there is. There's an art to it, right? You're here, right? It's the trolls, they can come up with anything and say things. I usually never respond to them, but this one I felt like responding to because I just, taking something similar, outside of the solar system and relatively new observational phenomena and saying, oh, how does it affect this serious science? Nobody ever said it was a serious science. It's an ancient tradition. It's a metaphysical tradition. It deals with vibrations and it deals with intuitive energy, right? Meta, beyond the physical. Okay, done on that diatribe. Our birth today is Johannes Kepler. There you go. Serendipitous. I wrote that before I even looked up what the birthday was for today. Okay, it was just there. It was just in the universe. So that's why I had to respond, I guess, right? It's the wisdom, helping you choose the most effective options. Now, if this guy comes back, I'm not going to go back after this guy or anything like that. I'm going to delete the whole thread. I just said what I had to say. If he reads it and it's like, okay, you're never going to get through to some people, and they will see what they want to believe. It's like the same people that put religious things in the comments and things like that. I don't decry or knock your religion, but just because it's not being expressed here, your particular flavor of it, what does it mean? It doesn't mean anything, right? You're just saying that your way is the right way, and that's really what it all boils down to. I'm right, you're wrong. All right, so Johannes Kepler, born in 1571, died in 1630. He's a German astronomer and astrologer, by the way, and he discovered laws of planetary motion. There's 3 laws, right? Born in Wildenstadt in the Holy Roman Empire, and that's all I have for you. So that's what I got. Let's recap. Let's never mind the trolls. We have to have the wisdom to know that, right? But there was a certain wisdom there that led me down that path to reference Kepler because it's his birthday. Serendipity? Maybe, maybe not. All right. So I certainly didn't look it up, though. Our color is sunrise. You pick what color, you pick the stage. And today's keyword is wisdom. All right? And that is all I have for you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming by. Appreciate and love every single one of you. Today, Today's a 5. You're going to have to settle with that energy, right? It's not easy being able to settle into wisdom, but you can do it. Happy astrocatting.